Hey y'all, thanks for joining me today. We're finishing up those Wrought Iron San Mai builds. Here I'm just flattening out the tang, getting the tang a little bit thinner than the blade. Could have did it on the belt grinder, but rather than eat up belts, I figured I'd waste some propane. So here I am just smashing those down a little bit more, getting them the right thickness, and then I'll be putting the touch mark here on a second. Here's the touch mark. Holy shnikes! Yeah, so as you can see there, I missed with the first swing. I ended up hitting the pliers because I was looking at the blade and not what I was swinging at. But
Never works out perfect, does it?
ended up getting it the second time. The touch mark ended up looking good, so no harm, no foul. We all make mistakes. And here I am with the other one. That one was much better. So put those back in the forge, and I will get ready to heat treat those here. I'm just heating up the oil, trying to blow out that flame. You don't want the oil to flame up too much because it ends up ruining your quench oil. You have to switch it out quicker. But there's the first quench. I believe that's the 7-inch knife. And I had just a little bit of a bend to it. So I took it, put it in the vise, tightened it down. Still a little bit. So I tightened it down again and wiggled the tongs a little bit, straighten it out, and this one turned out great. Both of them, the file just skated right off of it, didn't bite in at all. So here I'm just using the file to knock off as much scale as I can, because once I heat treat those, I'm knocking off the scale with the belt grinder. You chew up belts. But here I am just touching up the tang and where I'm going to put the bolster. Today we're going to be working on the San Mai blades. We're going to be working on the antler handle. I'm going to do an antler handle for the 7-inch fighter. And I'm going to be using this beautiful chunk of burl wood for the other one. I'm going to use brass for the bolsters for these guys. So stick around, and I'm going to be cutting some wood and antler and brass and trying to get some filing done today and hopefully get it all on camera and be able to squeeze it into this video. Alright. Here I am just measuring everything and getting everything the way I want it, and gonna start doing the bolsters here in a second. Leave them cutting the antler, and there's the brass. Now here's all the measuring and writing stuff down on my table, and snap goes the pencil lead. World's most expensive pencil sharpener right here. does the trick perfectly. And back to scribbling on the table. Here I'm using the mill. We just got a mill at Wrought Iron Farm, and I'm learning how to use it. It's a learning curve for sure, but jumping in feet first as always. I'm probably not doing any of this right, so if there's machinists out there that know that I'm doing something wrong, please leave a comment. But here I'm just filing the guard. I got it roughly the size I needed, and then I want to file fit it. This is tedious and a lot of tinkering and back and forth. I was out here for hours just working on this one guard. And I'm getting close. Could just see a little bit of light through there, so I was pretty excited after working on it for a couple hours. And there we go. No light. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see any light coming through. Nice tight fit. Here I'm just drilling out the wood for the little knife. This beautiful burl handle. Maple burl. I stabilized it. And I'm just drilling it out here. I'm going to be hot fitting the handle onto this tang here. I like this process. You heat up the tang, get a cherry, and then you push the wood on and it burns its way into the wood. It's a great fit. I like doing it. You just can't heat up the blade because you'll take the temper out of it. And I just got a visitor. She came to check out what I was doing in there. Here's the leather and copper. I did some leather and copper layers on each one of the knives. Just using a hole punch here and punching out the holes and fitting it on. There's the copper. I just drilled some holes in it and put those on as well. Here I'm going to be putting the copper and leather on, pushing it together and making sure everything's tight. And here's the glue up. Put it in the trusty dad clamp. Everything's straight, everything's good. Nice and tight. And here I am working on the finger guard for the 7-inch Bowie knife. Here's the fit up. I'm trying to work the finger guard as close to the antler without grinding down the antler. And that's a Scotch-Brite belt I'm using. Now I'm going to flame patina the finger guard here. You heat it up, get it cherry red, and then quench it. And in the where I was hammer texturing it, it still leaves the patina in there. And when you take steel wool and rub steel wool over it, it makes the top shiny, but in the dents where the hammer was, where the hammer marks are, it stays patinaed. It's a really cool look, I think. And here's the glue up of the Bowie knife. Everything looks good and tight. Set it there overnight. And this is where the fun starts. Sanding. This is the most tedious task of making a knife, in my opinion. I love blacksmithing and forging out the blades. Woodworking is cool. Like, I like to see the layers of wood that I uncover. It's kind of a romantic idea of being able to see that wood for the first time before anybody else has ever had the chance to see that wood. It's pretty cool, and I like it, but man, it just takes forever. I was probably out here for about 3 hours, and this was the coldest day we've had yet this winter. It was, I think, like 16 degrees out that day, so it was pretty chilly to be in the garage. I did have a fire going though, so that helped. But yeah, just more hand sanding here. Tried to get the Coke bottle style shape around the butt of the handle there. And I'm almost done here. I'm going to be touching it up with some 600 grit here, and then I'll be oiling it up and calling it a day. But I wanted to thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate you. If you liked the video, please like it, share it, subscribe. If you have any comments, please leave them below. We do read them, and we'll get back to you. Yeah, just thank you and have a wonderful day.